It's a G life, serving in a G ride. Who bang, homie, clutching on the phone. Don't ever slip, cause you do, boy, that lead flies. Cause at the bottom we stay hunting in that moonlight. You hear the click, you hear the bang when we pass by. This ain't a game fool, the riders really on stripe. That's on the gang fool forever on that main line. And it's a thin line, so homie better act right. We keep it active, really active up on this side. You hear the whistle as they're throwing up their gas signs. The crime rate in the hood always stays high. Banging for the bottle, tucha for the one time. We stay posted, drinking till the sunrise. We stay posted, drinking till the sunrise. It's that G life, swerving in a G ride. Who bang, homie, clutching on that 4-5. Don't ever slip, cause you do, boy, that lead flies. Cause at the bottom we stay hunting in that moonlight. You hear the click, you hear the bang when we pass by. This ain't a game, boy, these riders.
M.O.D. Entertainment presents gfiles.
What up, G Life? Now this right here is an interesting one. Like I have said, gangs could exist anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the ghettos or the cities. Like I said, when you have just misunderstood youths, chaotic scenery in the household, shit could crack anywhere. You know what I mean? That's like when I say to raise these kids better, I'm telling ya. But right here, this is Hopeville. Hopeville is not that many people would know where it's at. It's by almost by Calexico. Is where you can find it. It's pretty out there. You know what I mean? But even these areas, you know what I mean, could have neighborhoods, and there is several varrios around. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that they're just like out there and it's like ain't nothing cracking. Like I said, it cracks not only with Hispanic gangs, but also with white and black gangs. And this area in Hopeville is where we have the Hopeville neighborhood. The HOS as HOS 13 is how you see it up. And this barrio has already been right here for a cool minute. In this area, been doing their thing, you know what I mean, well established. I was told that they're roughly about 50 to 60 members, a little bit more on the smaller side, but you know, due to the fact of the area, you know, you can see, you know, why that is. Now, their territory is what's Underwood Road all the way to Mellon Road. From Mellon Road, it extends all the way to 5th. And from 5th, I would have to say their neighborhood extends all the way to Toland Road. So everything that's in the middle is considered their neighborhood. So throughout what's 8th, throughout 7th, that extends through their neighborhood. Throughout Hope Road, which is their dojo, and 8th, Alamo Road, you know, almost by the park, you know what I mean? By the recreational park that's right there, or by City Hall, you know what I mean? For those who get a better idea. Yeah, but their neighborhoods, all of that, all of 7s, Cedar, Pine, Palm Avenue, Olive, you know, Myrtle, you know, Woodridge Avenue, 9th, all of that is their neighborhood. Is where you can find this neighborhood, you know, doing their thing, you know. So when you see the HOS 13, that's who this neighborhood is. And it is a real barrio, you know, for the Imperial Valley. They represent out here, you know, they got real riders, you know what I mean? They got real homies doing real things. Like I said, homies are just, you know, everywhere. That's just how it goes down. And like I said, not only just with Hispanic gangs, but you have other gangs here, you know what I mean? Like black, whites, and etc. So it'd be cracking, but that's what's up with the Hopeville neighborhood right here, representing for theirs. And now maintaining in the Imperial Valley section, we have another neighborhood that's right here located within the Imperial Valley, right here in the city of Eber. Eber is a small little, you know, little town right there, close to the Imperial Valley Mall is where you can find this barrio in this area, for those who are not too familiar with the area. This one right here is a little bit more of a smaller neighborhood. I was roughly told that there are only about 40 to 50 members. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, like I said, it cracks anywhere you have the perfect recipe. And like I said, there's several neighborhoods around, so it'd be cracking. These guys definitely have made the news for several robberies and shootings and even shootings with police officers. Should be cracking out here. But this barrio is located right there in Eber. Their neighborhood is what's Coral Road to Dogwood Road. From Dogwood Road, I would say that their neighborhood extends all the way to 14th Street, and from 14th all the way to Heffernan Avenue, and back to Coral Road. So what's 2nd Street, what's Lettuce, what's Cantaloupe, what's Hawk, what's Valley Boulevard, what's Dove, what's Eber Avenue, obviously, that extends throughout their neighborhood through 9th, through 10th, through 11th, all the way to 14th. Is where you can find this barrio doing their thing. Like I said, they're not a large neighborhood. The H13. I know it's pronounced Eber. The H is silent, but it's the reason why it's H13, not to be confused with Hemet. You know what I mean? This neighborhood is a real barrio. Been doing their thing. Have homies that are busted. Be representing. They hold it down. You know what I mean? This area, it cracks. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever get it twisted. It be popping, but that's what's up with the Eber neighborhood. Been right there representing since the early 90s and still hold it down. Now here is a pretty interesting neighborhood that had several cases that made headlines and media for several homicides and shootings within this area. Seems pretty chaotic here. We have the Kennedy Gardens, which is a small area, already getting close to Calexico is where you can find this neighborhood. So it's before hitting that. Kennedy Gardens. Now, I was told that it's roughly about 50 members. Even though it's small, it's very active. A lot of, armed robberies, bank robberies, shootings, few homicides, that made, headlines, law enforcement be combating this neighborhood because they just be running mucks. The KG13 Kennedy Gardens is located, their turf, it's from Avelinda, I would say it extends all the way to Imperial Avenue, all the way to Camacho Road. From Camacho Road, their neighborhood extends to Perry Avenue. So, close to the Kennedy Park, what's the John F. Kennedy Park, through the Robert F. Kennedy Park, through Robert Kennedy Street, through Rockwood, that extends through their neighborhood, almost close to the to where the canal's at, the riverbed. It's where you can find this neighborhood. So all of that area, like I said, even though there is whites, it's a very gentrified area. Like I said, every city has its dark places. And that's where it just cracks. You know what I mean? Like I said, roughly a smaller neighborhood. But don't get it twisted. They get it on and cracking. You know what I mean? And they've been right here representing and holding it down for theirs. And now right here, we have Calexico. You know what I mean? Calexico is an area also that has gangs in it. Calexico obviously being close to Mexicali. Right here it be cracking as well. One of the powerhouses within this area that dominates right here, the neighborhood that holds the presence, that holds it down, that lays them back down. And no, it has no affiliation to the other neighborhoods that have the same name. I will be covering them in the doppelganger when we get to it. But this right here is the GTL or GTLS, Ghost Town Locals. But Ghost Town Locals right here in Calexico has been right here since the early 90s. You know what I mean? They've been right here repping theirs. And like I said, it cracks in Calexico. You know what I mean? I don't know if people have been down there, but it's chaotic right there too. There's poverty, it's hectic. I mean, my boy's close to the border. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be popping right there. So yes, this barrio, does crack, and like I said, there's several other gangs around within the area. Now their neighborhood is quite extensive. It's pretty large. It's from Imperial Avenue all the way to Second. From Second, I would say it extends all the way and I would have to say Imperial Highway. Their neighborhood will extend all the way to Beach Avenue. From Beach Avenue, I would say all the way to Birch Street, and obviously back to Imperial. So everything that's in the middle, it's their barrio. So Imperial stretches through their neighborhood, Rockwood as well, Heber, Blair, close to the high school as well, and Encenas, Dual Avenue, all of that is, it's what's their barrio, from 7 to 9 to 8 to 3rd to 2nd, pretty much from 2nd Street all the way to 10th. So yes, it's a big chunk of territory. Should be cracking right here. Like I said, just because should be out there. Hey, the madness is real. Shit cracks. And these guys have their riders and soldiers that hold it down for theirs. They got homies that are busted. They got homies that they got homies that do real things, for that GTLS. These guys ain't no suckers. Representing for Calexico, proud. One of the proud, riders to rep it for theirs within this area. They got down as homies, for theirs, and be representing for theirs. You know what I mean? I was told that they're roughly about more than 100 members for this barrio, and continue to represent theirs for Calexico and put theirs on the map for the barrio Ghost Town Locos 13. Another neighborhood that's within this region, close to the Calexico neighborhood, right next to the Calexico neighborhood. As a matter of fact, the only thing that separates their neighborhoods is literally Cesar Chavez Boulevard. It's what separates these barrios. You have La Guarda Sur 13. It has no connection to the rest of the Sur 13 neighborhoods. This is just La Guarda Sur 13. Yes, La Guarda has neighborhoods, like I said. It could exist anywhere, and these are real barrios, real motherfuckers doing real things. Despite what people are gonna want to say, they got homies busted. They got motherfuckers doing real things right here in La Guarda. Now their barrio is from, I would say their barrio is from Grant Street. So what's Mendoza all the way to Birch, from Birch all the way to Cesar Chavez, and back to Grant again. So everything in the middle is their barrio. Close to the Rodriguez Park is where you can find them. Put it like this: from the Rodriguez Park all the way to the Nosotros Park, by where Lincoln Avenue's at, throughout Calexico Street. From that end all the way to the opposite end. Everything in the middle, throughout Lincoln, throughout Grant, that extends through their barrio. Hey, they hold it down. It's a pretty large chunk of territory where you can find these guys roaming around and getting themselves into, pedos. That's how it is. For the LGS 13 neighborhood, or LG. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's other neighborhoods around. There's tank crews as well. There is some form of action. You know what I mean? For people to think that it's just these areas, or they can't grasp how barrios could exist in these areas, like I said, neighborhoods could literally adapt to any environment. If you could try to clean up the streets, you could try to do this and this and that, but if the household is chaotic, the madness will never end. So before you think of having kids, know what you're doing, and when you do have a kid, be a good parent. Don't be so ignorant. You don't know the amount of damage that kind of does. Doing that does to an individual. But yeah, right here, La Guarda Sur, be representing for theirs and holding theirs down. And also within this area, don't think I forgot. To the homie Jose, don't worry, my boy, I got you. I haven't forgotten about your barrio, my boy. We got the barrio Sealy. Located right here in Sealy. A small area that's located close to the Sunbeam Lake. For those who are familiar with the area, is where you can find this barrio. Kind of just out in the outskirts, but like I said, shit pops. You know what I mean? Now the Silis barrio extends from what's Laguna Avenue all the way to Central Street. From Central Street, I would say to the opposite end of what's I think it's the Even Highway, and from Even Highway, I would say their turf extends to probably what's Healy Avenue or Holt Avenue. Throughout Rio Vista Street, Main Street, Park Street, close to the Sunbeam Park is where they hang out and they do their thing. At the parque. You know what I mean? Close to Drew Road is where you can find this neighborhood doing their thing. Like I said, this one right here is roughly a more smaller neighborhood, roughly about 40 to 50 members that represent for theirs. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. They get it on and cracking for that SL13 and continue to put theirs on the map and represent. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no suckers. The CD does get it on and pop it, and also be putting theirs on the map. But that's what's up with the Sealy 13, putting it down for the Sur. You know what I'm saying?